You're listening to the Mental Money Podcast, the show that shows you how to master your mind to maximize your money. This show is for people who love to watch their bank accounts grow while shifting their relationship to money. Without further ado, let's get these insider insights from today's leading expert. So you are listening to the Mental Money Podcast, and you're listening to your host, Natalie Noisette. And today we have with us Sheri Richardson. I did it right? Okay, good.
Got it, girl.
Okay, good. So in continuing our series on talking about hiring, employment, HR, today we're going to be speaking to someone about hiring a VA and just the ins and outs of it, walking through what the requirements are, trying to figure out what a good candidate looks like, the work. So, Sheri, so the podcast is pretty much designed so that the newer entrepreneur can have a safe place to come, learn about entrepreneurship, but also gain education as to how to streamline their business and expedite their learning so that they don't have to go through some of the loopholes, some of the things that we had to go through at figuring pieces out, especially as minority women in business. So every single month, we go through a deep dive into one particular topic. So the podcast feels like a masterclass. So that's why you're here today. Welcome.
I am honored to be here. And I'm also going to say, mistakes are the best teachers. So I don't want y'all to avoid all the mistakes. I'm going to say it. Because you're not going to build the tenacity to actually grow a business if you don't follow the mistakes.
Right. No, 100%. We've spoken to that fact 100 million times. It's so funny. I'm actually glad that you said that because it's not like something that we just keep saying for the sake of saying it. It's like a thing that we need to keep acknowledging.
Absolutely. I tell people all the time that you're not really in business until your business makes you cry.
Period. Well, yeah. But I feel like there's some mistakes we don't have to make, and if we just have the right pieces of information to plug in, especially ones that are going to cost us money, like hiring the wrong person. You know what I mean? Like even the other day, what was it? Like something happened with a company. So, matter of fact, this is a great segue into our topic, right? Something happened with the company. Let's call it Delta, right? Delta, an employee of Delta. Something happened with an employee of Delta, and then everyone starts tagging Delta in the comments, like, Delta, this you? And it's just like, this kind of goes to show exactly the client or the business to employee relationship and how symbiotic it is, because no one sees the employee, they see the business. So speak to that if you can.
Absolutely. So I am not a fan of social media and an employee for that reason.
Yeah.
Because cancel culture is kind of rampant. I think it's overzealous. But in a world where that exists, you have to be mindful.
Mm-hmm.
So as CEOs, which there are, and I know several women have probably said this, but as a business owner, you are a CEO.
Mm-hmm.
So in that thought process, as a CEO, you are responsible for everything that happens in your company. Case in point, when bad things happen to big companies, a lot of times, if it's big enough, the CEO steps down.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the CEO was not present for most of the happenings, right? They may not have even been aware of the happening because it was something the executive was handling, like the VP or, the operations manager. Mm-hmm. But because they are the CEO, they are 100% responsible for what happens in that business.
Mm-hmm.
So the first step to understanding that employee relationship is understanding that everything that happens in your company is your fault because it's your company.
Yeah.
That mindset alone will set you up to make better decisions because you have to take responsibility for it.
Mm-hmm. Right. No, 100%. No, I agree with you. So with that being said, when we're looking at who we're hiring, especially if we're outsourcing it to someone that is not working with us like side by side, right? So my team comprises of we're 100% remote. So like um there's the gentleman Naoki who does a lot of the like bookkeeping work, and then there's another individual who they're both in New York but different places in New York, and then there's another guy who's in Morocco who we've like outsourced from a different country, and his timeline doesn't really matter as far as like when he gets work done, as long as he gets it done for the most part. But Naoki and Anna usually have like hard deadlines, right? And me, I don't do the micromanaging thing, right? Like, here's the expectations, here how things are done, they're supposed to be done. I know that they're credentialed and qualified individuals, but being remote kind of creates a weird dynamic because I'm their boss, technically, but I also can't really manage to a certain level their work. So how do you navigate that space?
So you treat your employees well.
I do.
No, that's how you navigate that space.
Gotcha.
Treat your employees well.
Right.
People underestimate the power of being appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
When you create a thriving, nurturing, and fun work environment and a work culture that's inclusive and is community.
Mm-hmm.
So, like with my team, when I'm bringing on a new hire, I take the rest of my team that into consideration.
Right.
Is this person going to fit into our dynamic? Is this person going to add and fit into the puzzle that we have going on? Because me and my staff, we clown. Like I can send any of my employees a meme about literally anything, and we're gonna laugh and joke about it. They can, they will absolutely positively tell me I'm absent-minded. I absolutely positively tell me, listen, this day I'm gonna be a crazy person, and y'all are probably gonna cuss me out, and I'm okay with that. Like, like it's a, but I also show their appreciation almost every time I talk to my employees. And it's not even that I'm being disingenuous because I really feel that I could not be who I am without my team.
Right.
But I show them that appreciation. I tell them all the time, I appreciate everything you're doing. I love your work. Like when they show me their work, although I am being completely sincere, I feel like, girl,
Yeah.
this is bomb. Like appreciation is one of those things that you just have to you can't do a dollar.
Yeah.
It has to be ongoing and pouring.
Mm.
And in that, also in that element of taking responsibility, if something isn't working, you have to take responsibility for it.
Right.
My employee meetings where something is wrong never goes to the point of where you're not doing this, and you're not doing that, and you're not doing this.
Mm-hmm.
My first question to my employees when something is wrong, what have I not provided you with?
Yeah.
To help you succeed in your what did I miss
Right.
that you need that's critical for you to perform your duties correctly.
Yeah.
And what typically happens if I have to have that conversation, which is not often, my conversation normally because of how I treat my employees, it is midnight, you are not on the clock. I can see you because I see everything in some shape or form. Get off the computer.
Yeah.
Because they are committed to the success of my company because I put that so much energy into saying this is a good environment for you.
Mm.
So when I do have to have those tough conversations and I take ownership first, they're the typical response is, you know what? I've been slipping. It's not you. And I know I've been slipping and this has been going on and I didn't say anything because of this, that, and the third.
Boom. Right. No, that makes sense. I want to play devil's advocate because I agree with you 100%, and I'm not taking away from anything you said, and I hope that everyone can implement what's being said and not, despite what anyone does or how anyone works, they can still continue to implement that for the sake of their team, right? But then there's people.
Of course,
people are gonna people, right? So one question that I've been asking through and throughout this entire series is, other than discernment, which we need as employers, right? What are things that you look for that help you identify key traits, characteristics outside of just skill set? Because we can find people who meet those criteria, but what other traits and skill sets are you looking for that help you know that this is going to be a good piece of that puzzle? And how do you know that this person isn't just presenting a good front or a good face in the interview process, and that they are going to actually meet those, standards that outside of their job performance and job role?
Absolutely. So, number one, I do have a 90-day rule.
Mm.
So 90 days, both are testing each other. Either one of us can walk out in that 90 days, no hard feelings, no anything.
Right.
But number two, and this is something that a lot of y'all are doing, I actually do a interview process. Most people are like, especially in their business, they're like, okay, well, I need somebody. Oh, this person said they can do it. Okay, you're hired.
Mm-hmm.
There's no interview process.
Yeah.
You are a company. You have to interview people.
Mm-hmm.
Just like when you got your job, you had a first interview, you had to send your resume, you had to go in and be cute or be witty, all of that stuff. You need to expect these. You need to set the exact same expectations.
Right.
And if it is a virtual person, why not test their skills? Have a day where all of your applicants have to actually show you that they are capable of doing what they say they're doing.
Right. Yeah.
Typically speaking, on anytime I interview somebody, we have a 2-hour test period. If they are a graphic person, they need to make a flyer. If they are an executive assistant, then I am giving them a series of tasks and I'm leaving key points out of those tasks to test their communication skills.
Mm-hmm.
So if I tell you to book me a flight on Thursday and that's all I give you, where am I going?
Right.
What location am I going near? Do I need an Airbnb? Do I need a car? Do you need to set up like transportation?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of meeting is this for? Do I prefer a morning or evening flight? Is there any airline that I like? Those are the questions that I'm looking for an executive assistant to ask me, because when I give it away, I don't want to ask. I don't want to give anything else. So you need to know what important information is needed as quickly as possible.
Right.
That is the most important. Actually do an interview process.
Right.
99% of people are going to eliminate themselves.
Mm.
And I'll give you a hint of that. My executive assistant right now, she's actually my operations manager. We've been together for almost 2 years. And when I was hiring, there was 4 or 5 applicants. And there was another applicant. I promise you, she blew everything out of the water. The first interview, she was banging it. The back to forth email correspondence, she was on top of it. I mean, just completely blew. It was like, I'm pretty sure I'm going to hire her. That's where I was.
Right.
Until we got into the test task portion. We got to the test task portion, and I gave those exact examples. I was like, I need a flight to Atlanta on this day. She just sent, and I need an Airbnb. She literally sent me 42 Airbnb.
Just a list of Airbnbs.
What am I supposed to do with that?
Go through it in her mind and let her know which one you wanted, and then she'd book it based on that. Right.
Everybody else was like, well, I think you need an Airbnb. Is there a location you're trying to get close to? So then they're sending me 3. Because it's within a mile of the location that I'm telling them I want to be in.
Yeah.
What price range are you looking for? That narrows it down even more.
Yeah.
She's gonna ask me, she was sending me Airbnb for $50 and she was sending me for $500.
Right. Okay. No, that makes sense.
And she blew herself right on. She was done with her test pass in 15 minutes. She lost the job that fast.
Damn. So, okay, so that speaks to a bigger thing. All right. So if you are going, okay, that speaks to a bigger concern. I don't think a lot of people really know what tasks they're really handing off, or how to define tasks, or how to outline tasks. So what would you offer as far as like really understanding not only what a job role is, because we have, as entrepreneurs, we know what we need done, right? We know what we need to feel supported, but sometimes it might be difficult to communicate that. So what do you suggest as far as outlining tasks that need to be done and giving it a definition, so that we both, like, let's say it was me and you, or we are designing a task to hand off to someone, how would we design that or streamline it so that we would, if we're either one of us are looking at it and we weren't there in that process, could look at it and know that it's complete?
So I am, again, we're going to go back to being a company.
Mm,
Companies have departments.
right.
Departments have specific tasks that they are handling.
Hmm.
So if you are hiring, you need to look at what tasks are grouped together for a particular role.
Hmm.
Because if you go into any establishment, the accounting department is not on the phone selling products. The salespeople are not doing anything with marketing.
Right.
And that's the issue that I see a lot of entrepreneurs doing. They want to get one VA and they want their VA to do marketing. Um, they want them to do flyers. They want them to be good at emails and at text marketing and at, you know, setting up events and then planning travel. Those are all different roles.
Hmm.
They want them to do bookkeeping, and so they think that, and this is just on my experience in doing what I do. People will hire one person and then want to hand over their whole workflow.
Yes.
That's a huge mistake. You're setting yourself up for failure, and most importantly, because the person who you are hiring is now your responsibility.
Yeah.
Their family is dependent on you being a good leader.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't look at employment like that. I have 13 employees. 13 people are dependent on the decisions I make.
Yeah.
Their children eating, their parents getting health care, them having a roof over their head is all dependent on the decisions that I make on a day-to-day basis.
Uh-huh.
So I can't just willy-nilly be like, okay, well, I'm going to go get this Gucci person because I got 10 bands. No, I have payroll. I have people.
Yeah.
So you have to take that role seriously. And in taking it seriously, you have to understand that you have to set that person up for success. So be prepared to train that person. Be prepared to pick a singular role in your company that you're giving up. So if you want to give up customer service, define the role of customer service and then give those items away to that person. If you want to give away the executive part of your company with the researching, the target market research, the looking at competitors, the scheduling of your books, all of that stuff, you need to hire an executive assistant and train them as an executive assistant. Now I do have an operations manager. She is good in all tasks. She has knowledge in all tasks, but she specializes in a few. That's my person that trains everybody else. So that first person needs to be your strong person.
Yeah.
You need to have a person that can stand on their own 2 feet so that they can help everybody else behind. And then you don't have to do that
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. So to the original question, what would you do as far as designing that task list or creating a system around what tasks are actually being handed off?
So I would definitely, number one, jot down like a brain dump of
Mhm.
all the tasks that are needed. And I would break those tasks into daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, that kind of thing.
Right.
And ladies, gentlemen, don't underestimate the power of a brain dump. Some amazing things happen.
Yeah.
So do a brain dump. One or two things has to go. Either the task that you don't want to do or the task you don't know how to do. And between those two, which one is going to earn you money the fastest? Is it going to be the task that you don't want to do? Most of us, that's social media.
Yeah.
Or is it the task that you don't know how to do? Most of us is also social media.
Well, that's about right. That's funny.
So you have to. That's how I lump this together. What task can I lump together?
Mm-hmm.
And once I go through that and I figure out which direction I want to, what I really need to give away to be the most effective, then that's where I hire.
Mm-hmm.
Then that's how I plan.
Okay. So you said something that triggered another question in my mind that I think I see a lot of entrepreneurs struggle with as well, which is relinquishing control.
Oh, I love that question.
Good. So I'm not even gonna ask. I'm not even gonna say anything else. Go ahead.
Okay, so here's my take on relinquishing control. The main problem, especially us female entrepreneurs, I'm talking to you. Yes, I'm really talking. We treat our businesses like babies. They're our babies. And a lot of people say, my business is my baby. But just like babies, they grow up and they need you to let them go so they can.
Yeah.
And not letting them go is costing you money and frustration and unneeded energy and a loop-de-loop that you're never going to come out of. Because I know for a fact that you probably have 16 courses sitting in your inbox that you done paid for, that you done did 3 modules of, and then got too busy to go back. I know that there's a coaching program that is the best coaching program that you have ever thought of doing. And you have started it by opening the Word document and you put the title in there and you outline 3 things and then you walk away from it and haven't been able to get back.
So you were really talking to me, huh? Not the read for Phil. Because I was trying to outline that program for weeks, boy.
And how much money is that costing you?
So how much do you cost an hour? What's your consulting charges? Let's ball this ball up. Let's better get right to the end. Forget all this podcast stuff. What we talk about, brother? Clearly, I'm missing something. Well, let me know what a couple hours of your time is going to run. Clearly, I'm missing something here. Because you just read me for Phil on my own podcast. How disrespectful, Sheri.
You know what? You're not the first person to tell me.
Who sent you? I got to go back to my email. I got a word with them.
But exactly, that's exactly my point. That's costing you money because you can't get to it. And so when you let these things go and you let somebody else come in, or you have perfectionist syndrome, can't nobody do it like me.
Yeah.
When did you ask yourself if they could do it better?
Okay, you're right. Not quite my case, but no, a lot of people do suffer with that. You're absolutely
Okay.
right.
You're okay.
I promise.
Okay.
I promise you. I swear on my mama. I swear on my mama. That's not my case. And here's why. I promise you. Okay. So little side note. I'm writing a book.
Okay. So wait. So have you let somebody do it better, or you're saying nobody can do it
But I fire myself all the time.
better? Okay. Cool.
Oh no, that's what I'm telling you. I promise you. It's not perfectionism. No, I promise you that. I've let that demon go a long time ago.
What was that again? What you let what go?
The demon. Nah.
And I need y'all to see that way.
No, for sure. So I'm writing this book, and it's aptly named after the podcast, and it's to help women, minorities understand what they're going to be navigating in the entrepreneur space. And the first part is mindset, the second part is money, and I'm painting the picture around how certain mindset pieces don't serve them, right? And the entire first chapter. Was that one more time?
Absolutely.
Oh, yes. So the first entire chapter was just supposed to be like, this cute little top 10 things, like just beware of these things. And it turned into like 30 pages of like, this is rooted in white supremacy. Watch out for this. And it's just like, it never ended. And I was like, okay, I need to put this to rest for a second. And it was a lot, Sheri. So perfectionism was one of those things. And kind of piggybacking to a point that you made earlier, I feel like a lot of us have a very hard time in business because we, not only the perfectionism thing, but because our we do treat it like a baby, yes, but our risks are so much higher as an entrepreneur. We messed up the what is it? The stakes are just so much higher for us. We're treated more harshly. We're judged more harshly. We are less likely to be funded, less likely to be profitable, less likely to succeed. All the odds are stacked against us. So I understand why these things happen, but the mindset, if it's not checked, will definitely keep you playing small. Will definitely keep you having money off the table. So when I tell you everything you're saying, stacked on, stacked on, stacked on, are 100% correct, 100% right. Why I had not launched, why that hasn't happened, the training course, because I've just been getting in my own head about what the value add would be or what the group coaching should look like, which is why I haven't launched it.
So why haven't you told your audience and let them tell you what the value is?
That's a good question.
They value.
No, I'm going to. That was literally going to be my next thing. So I have an email list that's growing pretty rapidly. I was going to just kind of think of what I wanted to ask them, how to frame it, and then see what they would say. What do you need from me? What do you want from me? How can I serve you best? And then go from there.
And they will tell you.
Oh, I bet. Sorry, we were saying yes. So you are absolutely correct. So I'm going to poll my audience, and I'm going to let them tell me what they need, and we'll go from there. Yeah.
Yes. Polling is powerful. But yeah, women especially, and I say that because my men clients, I call them and be like, hey, you don't have to do this. They be like, word. I'd be like, it only costs this. They be like, word. When I put my credit card.
Yeah.
Because the men are used to delegating.
Mm-hmm.
Men are so used to delegating. And so it's easy for them, but women, we take everything on our shoulders and we want to be the person to do everything. And I don't want to be superwoman.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be paid.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't be superwoman and paid at the same time.
Right.
And
no.
Superwoman paid and fame are not in the same household. You're going to lose at least one of those. So you will be paid and you will be superwoman, but you will be cuckoo as a bird.
That's crazy.
Okay.
No, it's crazy. I was just talking to one of my friends. I mentioned this in another episode too. She came to me and she's like, Nat, I'm burned out. These employees, they just are not doing X, Y, Z and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, girl, the fish stinks from the top. So something has to change from you, like either your expectations or understanding, maybe systemizing what they're doing, or maybe you need a better understanding of what they're doing. But then she also has a kid who's about the same age as my kid. So she's like, how are you doing this? And how are you doing that? And I'm like, you're assuming I am. That's the problem. You see, that's the perception. Like, I'm online, I'm doing this. Right now, the baby's not tethered to me, but he would be tethered to you. I asked for help. I'm not afraid for asking for help. So listen, I got an interview at 5. Who got her? I want to go to the gym in 2 days, like in an hour or whatever. Who got her? You know what I'm saying? Like, I need to make this phone call. Who got her? Or I need to do this and that. What's going on? Or I need a ride or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, not afraid to ask for help. And there's no prize for being the most burned out or the most worn out or looking like your struggles. So yeah.
On the other end of that rainbow is brokenness and exhaustion.
It's exhaustion.
And resentment.
And resentment. Yeah.
You're going to start to resent your business.
Yeah. 100%.
So if you want to be sane, make more money, and actually enjoy what you're doing, hire.
Yeah. So where do you come in on this equation?
So I help entrepreneurs I help them get their whole business
together. Okay.
My company helps with the LLC creation. We do coaching to make sure that you understand exactly where your business, like where you want to take your business.
Mm-hmm.
And we also help hire really, really outstanding virtual assistants that are long-term solutions. I think a lot of people also think that they need to hire for the short term. I
Mm-hmm.
just need this done. I just need this little help instead of thinking I need to get long-term employees because employee turnover kills a company.
Yeah, 100%.
It kills a company. So the best thing that you can do for yourself, your business, your sanity, your family was it. Ooh, child, we didn't even touch on that one. While you so busy being superwoman, you haven't noticed that your family no longer. Because even when you're pregnant, you're working. You're answering the email on your phone,
Mm,
or you're jotting something down in a notebook, or you're like, okay, I'm here for 10 minutes, and you're looking at the clock to make sure that you don't miss out on. Hire somebody
right.
and breathe.
Mm-hmm.
Pick the position. Here's how I got where I'm not even gonna lie. A couple of years ago in 2020, I wrote down what I wanted my life to look like. 100%. I wrote down what I was doing, where I was going, how much money I was making, what my team looked like, what our dynamic was like,
Mm-hmm.
what I do in my business. Like, what is my happy point in my business?
Mm-hmm.
My happy space in my business is going to networking events, meeting high end clients, finding the money because we're CEOs. So we only have 3 roles.
Right.
Finding the money and just enjoying that piece, speaking,
Right.
being on stage.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to delegate everything else out.
Right.
And that's what I did. Once I wrote that out, once I really got it, and it was 10 pages, I even wrote out what my friends were doing, what my parents were doing, what my siblings were doing. Like, we all had a role. And everything that I wrote on that paper is coming because the decisions I've made and the conversations I've had have pushed us to that direction.
Yeah.
Because chances are, if you are running a business, you are also the leader of your family. And if you push them in a certain direction, they're going to follow your lead.
Yeah. You talking, girl. Mm.
So once we get you with that virtual assistant, then we help you with leadership and business development training so that you can become the best CEO, the best leader, and you're a happy employee is better than anything else.
Yeah.
It's where my company is employee focused first. My employees come first. I don't care what any client says.
What have you read or what would you recommend reading that would kind of help with that mindset piece?
How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Number 1 book.
Classic. Okay.
Number 1.
Okay. Anything else?
Um, that's the first one.
Okay.
And I think, and I would love to give other. I read.
Mm.
I have plenty of other books but to be a better human being all the way around.
Mm-hmm.
How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Mm-hmm.
I became a softer person after reading that.
Mm.
I became more agreeable after reading that. I understood why people did not like to hear no
Mm-hmm.
after reading that. And once you read that, it's going to set you up to understand and not only understand yourself, but understand who you need to be as an employer,
Mm-hmm.
and as a person, as a wife, as a sister, as a brother, as a cousin, uncle, auntie. Like, all of my relationships are better because of that. It's an accountability book that helps you relate to people. So if you get that one down, everything else, because the people are who help grow your business, and they're your customers. So if you know how to deal with them, then you've won 50% of the battle.
Right. No, true. Okay. So, okay, so back to how you kind of fit into this piece. So let's say someone signs on right now. What's the onboarding process look like? What are you looking
I'm glad
for?
you
Yeah, what are you looking
asked.
for?
As far as their employee,
As far not necessarily as far as their employee, but just their business.
I help all business.
Okay.
I help every business. If you're a 9 to 5, I love that because there's a magical thing to get an employee with a 9 to 5 and realize that that virtual assistant can grow your business while you're at work.
True.
So if you take a month of your 5 to 9 time and train your virtual assistant, your body double
Yeah.
while you're at your 9 to 5, they're at their 9 to 5 growing your business.
Right. Okay.
So I love that. So we help any company, every company. I have credit repair companies. I have Shopify. I have real estate. Like we literally got anything you have coming. We
And it's all for remote work or like virtual work.
have. I absolutely recommend that be anybody's first
Why specifically virtual work?
because it's inexpensive. So one of our, especially in our community, like you mentioned earlier, things are stacked against us. So we have to learn how to combat those. Funding is the number one reason that most companies fail. They don't have the money.
Yeah.
So if you have your 9 to 5, you are in a powerful position that most entrepreneurs who are out on their own basically will tell you is a powerful thing. These gurus who tell you to just burn the bridge are lying.
Yeah, fact.
Don't do that.
Approved.
Unless you are that personality where you get pressed, you turn into a diamond. You're gonna get pressed and turn into mud. It's gonna, it's gonna be the black sticky that Shamar Moore was talking about his brother. Like it's ugly.
Mm-mm.
So use that 9 to 5 as a power.
Yeah.
And then make that decision that your business is important. That way, when you make decisions, just like your children, just like your husband, just like your health for most of us, when you are making decisions, you're keeping those things in mind. So you need to do the same for your business. What decision is going to be best for my business? When I really got serious about my company, I said every decision from now on is going to be to improve my business. So I ended up leaving a job that was paying me more to a job that was paying me less, but I worked from home. Because I could have one computer right here on income and one computer right here on my business.
Yeah. Right.
And then I lost the commute time. That's an hour back in my day.
Right. Yeah.
Easily.
Mm-hmm.
The getting dressed time. I don't have to get as cute to sit in the house as I do to go outside. I can get dressed in 2 minutes
Right.
to be inside versus 30, 45 to go out. An hour to go outside. So if you can find a work from home job, you're adding 3 hours to your day.
True.
Not to mention the cooking and cleaning that you can do while you're on break time. So now, instead of you having to do that during Saturday, Sunday at night, your 15-minute break, you can be putting something in the fry pot. You can go be putting a load of laundry in it. So now you're getting multiple things done during the day.
Right.
Time management. There's levels to everything, including time management. And hiring is literally just a level of time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, sure. Because you're trying to offload whatever it is that's taking up your time. Okay, so what other... No, sorry.
Focus on anything other than money making activities, you can delegate that.
True. So what other insights would you offer to entrepreneurs that are looking to kind of like figure out where to start in this hiring space?
That's a good question. Let me think about that one for a second. Where to start? The absolute first place to start is the brain dump. That's the absolute first place to start. Because in doing that brain dump, you are going to figure figure out what systems you don't have. You're going to figure out where your weak points are. So that brain dump is super important. And the second thing is how you're going to train them and what time you're going to give to
Yeah.
that, because that's important.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's fair.
You have to schedule that out.
Yeah, it's very fair. So I think this was very helpful.
I hope so.
No, it was.
I hope everybody go out there and hire somebody to help them. If you are in a position where your company is solid enough, it doesn't have to be perfect.
Right.
You at least know some direction of where it's going. Hire.
Right.
It doesn't hurt.
No, for sure. Thank you so much.
You're either gonna grow in your business is either gonna grow or you're gonna grow in your own personal journey. That's only two things to do.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, thank you for that. So if someone wanted to get a hold of you, how would they go about doing that?
Google me. Google me. Yes, ma'am. And I say Google because all my social medias are there. My podcast appearances are there. Any kind of way that you want, websites, all of that is there. So Google Sheri, and that's Sheri, Michelle with one L, and all of my stuff will come up. I'm on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, I think Twitter. I don't know. My team does all of that. So you can find any and everything about me on.
I love that. Thank you so much, Sheri. This was good. I loved it. Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for listening to the Mental Money Podcast. Please go ahead and remember to subscribe, but don't hoard all of this good information for yourself. Share this information with someone that you know could use it, especially if they need a shift in their mindset or someone who would love to have more money. So until we meet again, remember, like Uncle Snoop said, keep your mind on your money and your money on your mind.